Good morning, dear colleagues. Let's start our session. Today we're going to display the DFA platform. It was created by SmartSoft company, and it's for smart technologies, for operators of DFA issue and exchange. And today we will focus on two things: architecture and the major technologies, and also what approach we have chosen to achieve the quality characteristics which we have announced in our agenda. And we will try to use time effectively, and we'll be ready to answer your questions during our workshop. But please ask your questions after we finish our demonstration, and you can ask your questions after Finapolis conference. We're going to show you the life cycles of tokens in real life. But for the last stage, the redeem of the token. And we will try to speak during the time which was allocated by the organizers. We will not show all details about the operations with tokens, but our purpose was not to create the platform for our target client. Actually, we were based on the fact that the platform should work with the stable, standard processes and structure.
Находится в достаточно активном развитии, и 259-й федеральный закон достаточно свободно определяет, а точнее не определяет возможные виды.
But it doesn't determine certain types of DFA, and it's also linked to factoring. And also I want to notice that within the market, they can fulfill all required business processes, and also one of the directions of the business is to support financial organizations, and the systems of the operator could delegate most part of the required business processes of the main company. But these are QSC, QABC risks, and the specifics which the bank has. And of course, let's focus on the architecture of our platform. Look at this slide. Here you can see the architecture of our platform, which is based on 5 major levels. And actually, it's a standard structure which uses blockchain. If you look from the top to the bottom, you can see the software of network node, and later I will focus on the software which we're using. Here you can see the layer of business services. You can see the microservice system. Next layer, interface platforms, work with the end clients. And of course, we should use required comfortable interfaces. The next layer includes a common system software. Actually, it should interact with various corporate environment like accounting software, corporate software, and such integration is required. And another layer includes integration. And of course, such integration should be with the banks and with financial organizations. Operators should have a nominal account opened there, and it should be connected to different structures who require reporting, like the tax service and other services as well. But here we focus only on the bank. And let's discuss the technology which we use as software for the blockchain. I think this is the most interesting thing here. Currently, the market uses 3 options. Open source software, for example, Fabric, Ethereum, and other systems of different time of issue. And also they use Web3 tech, and they say they have their own developments. We heard about them, but we haven't seen them in live. And we used open source software determined. And actually, there is a lot of information about this kind of node. You can find it in the internet. Determined presented themselves as a blockchain. So this is software which helps you to create decentralized applications using a lot of blockchain networks. And the major blocks here: determined core and algorithm of consensus. Also, it's a number of libraries for creating the core of this blockchain. So, to fulfill certain business logics of the core layer, the developers can use not only smart contracts, but also they can create modules. For example, if they transfer certain functionality there, and when they focus on the specifics of smart contracts. The third part here, it's not depicted in our schedule, but actually it's blockchain protocol. Later, when we focus on the secondary market, I will explain it in more details. So the pluses of this outer space is that it's operability. Cosmos is the platform which helps different blockchain platforms to interact with one another. The speed of transactions, it uses POS and also APC protocol, and it seriously influences the operability, and also it has good scaling. Flexibility. It has SDK, and thus it helps to create blockchain platforms with wonderful opportunities, possibilities. And for node blockchain, it's important. And we also have other important factors which we noticed during the development and operation. It's minimum requirements to the network of validators, because there are some systems which require a lot of intense setup, resource intense setup. But actually, we use Rust. It's the language of our code, and it helps to implement complex logics. User's interface is developed, taking into account the creation of applications on creative platform. And we use the language GraphQL language. It helps us to implement required functions quite fast and flexibly. And another feature is that our software can be uncovered, because we use Bosman software. If you're interested in this, we're ready to give you more details if you come to our stand. So let's move on. And now we're going to show you the major interfaces of our platform, and also the basic life cycle of DFA tokens in short. So this is the short life cycle, the preparing, the drafting, and assigning of tokens issuance, basic operations of the secondary market, and the redeem of the token. And you will see the account of the issuer, the account of the user, and the account of the end user. And if you work in the system on behalf of the client, here you can see the profile of the operator. And the first stage is creating the issue. So this is the account of the issuer, and we will try to pause at each step. We have very little time, and that's why if you want to look at this in more details, come to our stand and we will explain it in more details. So we fill in basic parameters. Actually, they're standard everywhere. And I think the most interesting thing here is indicating the lifetime of this talking, so that it's fulfilled automatically during these 20 minutes. We fill in the description, other data. So how much time is left? After we fill in the parameters for the issue, we should undergo the process of agreeing document issue. Actually, here you can see the IT part of these operations. So we introduce this data into the system. The next stage is to save this data, and we will send this issue for checking to the administrator. And in fact, we will just confirm that all parameters were introduced correctly, and then the issue will be signed by the issuer, and it will be sent to the blockchain where the smart contract will be initialized. Okay, we save this data, send them for check, and now we're going to enter the account of the administrator. All the sections are confirmed by CP. So we enter the personal account of the administrator. It's black colored. Let's have a look at the issue of our new token. We check information here. Check all data. Of course, these are non-system data, and such important things are not done within the interface. Then we confirm the issue. After this token gets the status to be signed, and we come back to the account of the issuer. Then the issuer should sign the transaction with his own private key, and the transaction is sent to the blockchain. Okay, the signing was successful because this is a demo stand. We hope that these transactions will not take more than 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, signing is planned, and the transaction was performed, and the issue is planned. So currently we expect the next stage of the life cycle of this token. It's collection of bits. We have just 2 minutes left, and I should say that we should focus on the following. What else is interesting in the account of the administrator? Let's move on to transactions. Sections here. You can see that the software of the blockchain is actually not very fast. And if the software needs to work with the data or the transaction and with the results, usually they don't practice direct address to the operation with reading. So then first they perform transaction, then they perform reading, and it's called OBI server. I know that every software has it. Then these results could be used by modules of analytics, and here you can see the structure, the typical structure of a transaction, so it's easy to read. You can do some decoding here or encoding, and it's needed for the control, for adjustment. It's comfortable. Let's check what has happened to the issue of our token. Let's go back to this section, issues. Let's check the status of the token. So it's still planned. I think we need 5-10 seconds, and then we will move on to the stage of IPO, and you will find another participant. It's investor. Okay, so the application was received. Now we are in the account of the issuer. Now we move to the account of the investor. So here you can see that the profile is similar. So the token appears in the marketplace. We find it, we open it, and here we send the bid to buy this asset. Let's imagine we collect 75 tokens. So here you can see the agreement of sale and purchase, and the issuer accepts and the investor accepts these provisions, and the money should be sent to the personal account of the issuer after the bid is confirmed. It's a non-system process, and of course we shaping it. Here you can see the statement. So, and we expect a non-system process when money goes to the bank, and it would be registered in our information system, and you can see this information in the digital wallet, and this bid would have the status planned. I think it will also take 10 to 15 seconds. Let's see. Yes, the status has changed. It's planned. Well, so we have created an application. It's a bid. And we can wait till the end of the bid collection, and we can enter issuer's account again and see what bids we have. Here you can see the receive of bids. How much time do we have left? I think 1 minute is required. It will finish at 10:17, so now we will finish the collection of bids, and in a minute these bids could enter as the secondary market. What we expect after we collect these bids and issue the token, it's a typical operation. So the issuer receives the money of investors, and investors receive tokens which they purchased. And we control this process. We can see that this money is in the digital wallet of the issuer. Let's see what has happened to the investor. We can see that the investor received DFA. So the exchange of tokens has happened, the purchase of token has happened, and it's a typical thing. Now let's focus on the secondary market, but before we continue, I want to explain the following. I would like to focus on the questions of future interaction of the platforms. It's a very interesting topic. It was mentioned during the first and second days, but given that we represent the developers, we want to discuss the connection of the blockchain and the complexity of this technological process. I think that the market players start thinking what will happen in DFA universe when the operators will have standard active work, when they have dozens of new operators. And not only Moscow Exchange will get the status of the exchange operator. we will need to solve certain issues of interaction at that moment. We need to organize marketplaces and intermediaries where you can purchase DFA different platforms. And recently there was a conference with, which was organized by Vedomosti newspaper, and they mentioned that the driving force of DFA market development is involving intermediaries. But we need to understand if this DFA could be transported between platforms, and if there is any meaning in this, and how we can solve the problem with the DFA redeeming, because currently it can be redeemed only within its system. So thus the system which creates it redeems it. And the question is also how the information about DFA should be spread. Our ABC protocol helps you to follow certain logic, because the ecosystem grows quite fast, the ecosystem Cosmos grows quite fast, and it confirms its stability and reliability. If we want to create cross-change interaction, we need to use the following options of architectures. Just for your information, we use contracts with temporary blocking, also bridges and hub technology. Bridges, what is it? Actually, it's exchange of messages between independent blockchains when they have certain trusted person, some oracle, who helps to perform transactions and exchange any messages, but the participants should trust to this intermediary. But as the situation shows, and as the events which take place in the crypto industry market, it's not a reliable option. Another approach which we use is using ABC protocol and implementation of this infrastructure on the basis of the hub. This hub helps you to exchange information between blockchains. When you create transaction on blockchain A and you check it, encryption, you check its encryption algorithm at blockchain B. So thus each of blockchains has the actual copy of its neighbor, and it helps to perform all required encryption checks. And our ecosystem helps to fulfill this algorithm. It's called Light Client. And in our system, we have shaped the same situation. And if we want to fulfill the function of the secondary market, we use the hub architecture. It helps us to have the following. We check the work which has been done, we test it, and we believe that it helps us to prepare the technological basis for one of the fulfillment of systems for the exchange operator. I can't say that it will be the only one and it's the best, but it's one of these systems. And currently, there is not common denominator, that's why it can be used. And we use the common blockchain of the hub. We have only one operator of the platform, that's why this person acts as the receiving party and sending party. And if it's necessary, we can switch between two independent blockchains for the exchange. So let us show quite fast how it happens, what operations take place in the secondary market. So here we involve another market player, and this person was not involved in IPO, but they want to buy tokens. They have money in their account, so they go to the secondary marketplace, and they're going to have a bid for the purchase. These are quite simple actions. They're typical ones. And I'm sure that there are people who are brokers here, intermediaries, I think it would be quite an easy operation for you. But then we move on. You can see that here we have a serious technological support. This operation will be divided into 3 transactions, and it will be implemented as the interaction between independent blockchains. We have signed this bid, and now we expect it to be sent to the blockchain. It will take 5 seconds, I think. Please wait a little bit. Well, I should say that using ABC protocol doesn't slow down operations. You see the operation was successful. Okay. One of the investors has sent a bid for the purchase, and we have investors who own these tokens. We go to the account, they enter the secondary marketplace, and they want to sell part of their tokens. Actually, it's quite a standard operation, and it's done in details within this information system. So this investor receives the bid, accepts it. All parameters are satisfying for him. He signs this transaction with his personal key. This transaction is sent to blockchain. It's divided into 3 transactions according to ABC protocol. And currently, we will see the following. Part of the tokens will be sent from one investor to the other, and money will be sent in the opposite direction, and this token will disappear from the secondary market. Okay, it has been signed. The transaction has happened, right? Yes, fine. Now let's have a look at the portfolio of this investor who has sold the token. So you can see that he has fewer tokens, but his money account shows that he received more money. Now let's refresh information and make sure that this token has disappeared from the secondary market. Okay, we can see that the second investor received this token and it was added to his portfolio. And we will show you the last step of this operation with tokens, redeeming tokens. And it's the last step. Actually, we will do it manually. We will not wait till the date which we introduced initially. So when you redeem a token, actually you perform standard operations. The issuer should have a certain sum of money to redeem a token which belongs to investor. Of course, we calculate the sum given the parameters of the issue, so the profitability and many other things. It's all in the smart contracts. Okay, this is the token for redeem, and the platform also implies the opportunity for partial redeem. And actually, the issuer can redeem this token by parts, and money will be redistributed uniformly, and it will be redeemed part by part, step by step. So we're waiting for the formation of the account, and the issuer will introduce a certain sum of money, and we will try to redeem this token fast. We wait for the process of redeeming, and I'm sure that soon we will see how it will be closed. Okay, it has been redeemed. Great. Now let's check the following. We enter the interface of the issuer and see how money was redistributed and how token was redeemed. Actually, there is the log for redeeming tokens.
Два инвестора, погасились токены, денежные средства переведены. Итак, коллеги, ну вот сейчас мы, в принципе, с вами за отведенные вот прям 30 минут сейчас заканчивается, показали полный типовой жизненный цикл токена, реализованный на нашей платформе CFA. И, наверное, готовы ответить на ваши вопросы, на которые еще там, наверное, минут 10 у нас есть. Если эти вопросы есть. Почему мы выбрали космос-тендерминт? Ну, давайте так. Значит, у нас был опыт работы с Hyperledger Fabric. Вот, но я буду говорить, наверное, языком айтишника, да, то количество граблей, которые необходимы, чтобы HLF заработал именно вот для конфигурации выпуска CFA, да, для какого-то, то есть перешел из приватного блокчейна в публичный, ну, нас немножко не вдохновляло, да, то есть мы смотрели как разработчики, вот, решили от него отказаться. Был у нас вариант, конечно, разработки собственного блокчейна, такие наработки были, но я, как руководитель проекта, был очень рад, что программисты от этого отказались, да, и мы не ввязались в историю разработки собственного. Дальше смотрели то, что есть на рынке. Но, честно, на рынке, конечно, ну, знаете, вариантов, наверное, немного, да, хотя тогда рынок еще был немножко в состоянии не как сейчас, там, до известных событий. Вот, ну, форк Этериума, ну, хотелось бы, наверное, все-таки, скажем, разрабатывать смарт-контракты не на Solidity. Вот. Что-то еще... Вы знаете, я даже не могу сказать, что были какие-то у нас альтернативы. Был опыт использования космос-тендерминт. Нам понравился IBC протокол. Нам понравились его возможности. У космоса на самом деле очень неплохое, ну, сейчас сказать не русское, а русскоязычное комьюнити. Там главный инженер, он, так сказать, русскоговорящий. Не знаю, какая сейчас у него юрисдикция. Вот. У нас, соответственно, нам понравилась технологическая основа, да, то есть Golang как язык для разработки, соответственно, ядра, модулей ядра, Rust язык как язык для разработки смарт-контрактов, ну, как бы, ну, звезды сошлись. Говорю, вариантов было на самом деле немного. Покупать, ну, был еще, конечно, вариант купить вендорское ПО, но, как сказать, для нас, как для софтвер-вендора, это бы, наверное, выглядело достаточно странно. Так, коллеги, у вас какой-то еще есть вопросы? Ну, если кто-то созреет, мы ждем вас на нашем стенде, вот напротив колеса Альфа-банка. Вот, и готовы, на самом деле, не знаю, что-то в более медленном темпе показать, что-то в более медленном темпе рассказать.
На реальной системе можем показать онбординг клиентов, потому что там и вопросы KYC, KYB, все это.
Ну, давайте, есть у нас там еще время, да, показать KYC. Ну, смотрите, поскольку мы все-таки делаем платформу, да, я же говорил, что мы не связаны ни с каким конкретным заказчиком, да, мы в данном случае проводили работы для использования KYC ESIA, то есть мы используем госуслуги. Ну, как сказать, это работает, это может быть. Ну, сейчас немножко, конечно, ожидаем некую правовую основу того, чтобы это могло быть использовано. Но, в принципе, это как бы один из вариантов реализации вот этого децентрализованной авторизации пользователей. Почему бы и нет? Коллеги, спасибо. Тогда, если вопросов нет, мы заканчиваем нашу презентацию и ждем вас на нашем стенде. Спасибо
за внимание.